Hallie, your brother's widow, threw the gun away. She was trying to protect you?
I think yes. I think she was just concerned about me.
Why did you have a gun?
Well, I did, again, the period of my life that was difficult. It was, but, I don't know. Hallie's intent was to make certain that I didn't do anything to hurt myself.
According to the reporting, at one point, the Secret Service went looking for the record of sale. Do you know anything about that?
Nothing. No idea.
Did somebody report the loss of the gun?
Oh yeah, they had in the moment. We knew that the gun was lost. That Hallie had thrown it into a trash can, and I told her that you can't do that. When I realized that it was gone, and so she went back, and the police came to help retrieve the gun, which was retrieved. Someone had gone through the trash and picked it up, and they found it within hours, I believe, and so. That was the end of the story.
But you know about the Secret Service being involved?
No, I had no idea. I don't know whether the Secret Service were or why they would be, or I don't think that that's true, to my knowledge.
It would be very concerned that you had a gun.
Wow. All right, I'm going to go first on this one. This is victim talk. I'm a victim right from beginning to end. And he says, why do you have a gun? He goes into this chaff and redirect it. Boy, we should put that in the book or something, because that is it's wonderful what he's doing right in there. That's really great. And he goes right to that get out of jail crack card every time, because when he asked him about the gun, he goes, well, I was the part of my life where because he's getting ready to say, I don't know what was going on. He's trying to work up a way to use that to add it to that. Well, I don't know what happened. I don't know what was going on. Shoot, I was on crack. Again, we see that the same thread of that hand squeezing going through there as an adapter. He looks uncomfortable. And at the end there, I'm not going to say anything because I know Greg's going to eat it alive, that when he's bobbing and weaving there at the end, one that gave us the giggles so bad. So, Greg, why don't you go next?
Yeah, so he starts off with this whole adapter barrier, the same thing we've been seeing. And then he goes into, again, Eddie Haskell. His forehead comes up. He starts trying to placate this guy. Chaff and redirect at every turn. My favorite chaff and redirect is he starts to puke up, hey, why'd you have a gun? Well, I was and suddenly thinks, involved with drugs and carrying firearms looks a lot worse than involved with drugs or carrying firearms. So he edits in the middle of it, and his blink rate just goes. He flashes so much, I think he's doing "I'll Fly Away." You could have Allison sing the song in the background. And then he starts to bounce, and he gets that his foot bounce, and as his pulse increases, he loses himself, and he starts to stammer and just trail off. And Chase, you talk about him sounding like his dad. When his dad loses place in the conversation in a speech, he does the same exact thing. He trails off and drags out. And then he's doing all that bobbing and weaving. It's just avoiding the incoming body blows that he's expecting, because he knows he's lost. He knows he's in the middle of everything. He knows that he has no idea. He knows he has no idea where he's at in the story, and he's lost himself. Not probably sure that he hasn't done a little bit of incrimination right in there when he says, hey, in the middle of me being a addicted drug dealer, I also had a gun. Yeah, I think he's probably thought for a second, and so he gets kind of off track there. Chase, what do you got?
Yep, agree with you guys. I want you to notice the head nod in the beginning when he's asking him to say yes to this question. There's a head nod, the open hand gesture from the reporter. And in fact, every single question in this clip, when he's supposed to say no, the reporter tells him, you're supposed to say no to this. And when he's supposed to say yes, or he's supposed to know something, the reporter asks him the question in truthful fashion, feeds it to him with a leading question. You didn't know about the Secret Service, right? And he's this is bad. I'm not saying there's some conspiracy here, but this is really bad as far as reporting goes. We could have done better. How about that? There's some immediate fidgeting, some digital flexion. His whole body becomes rigid. And when he's asked, why did you have a gun? I'll read you what he says, because I spent some time today, typed it out. He says, well, the period in my life that was difficult, it was, but I don't know.
That's code for I was a criminal carrying a gun while I was buying drugs.
Yeah. Then he asked about the Secret Service. Reporter shakes his head to let Biden know. Second question about the Secret Service. Reporter shaking his head to help him answer the question, and not knowing the case. This looks bad. But you didn't know about the Secret Service being involved. And then with the answer to the Secret Service, I don't know whether it was the Secret Service were or why they would be, or I don't think that's true to my knowledge. That's the answer. Pretty interesting. That's all I got. Mark, what do you got?
Yeah. So here's what I want you to look out for, because I think he does lose his way slightly, because he does enter a real emotion through this, and he enters it on that time of life was difficult around there. What you're going to see if you look around there is his face muscles will relax here. He'll lose the musculature there. The sides of the mouth will come down slightly. His eyes will trance out. They go a little bit red very, very quickly, and you'll see him fix in what I would call an emotional trance state. He enters into that emotion for a moment, and then he's back out of it. But I think there is some true sadness there, either around that he's carrying a gun because he's involved in drugs and you're going to have to do that, or I think there's an element here that isn't mentioned but is kind of hinted at, which is somebody doing harm to themselves. The word of suicide isn't mentioned in this, but there could be some sadness around that idea. Either way, I think there is some true sadness here, but it is surrounded with a word salad of trying to obfuscate and move around this very embarrassing situation, which I think is what is why the word salad is there. It's just totally embarrassing what's gone on here, and just bad optics for his dad at the time. That's what I got for you.
Excellent.
I lost a spelling bee because of the word obfuscate.
Obfuscate, yeah, I can say it. I don't necessarily know
Spell
what
the
it
word
means, and I
obfuscate.
certainly can't spell it.
Spell it, Chase.
I can't. I still can't.
Oh, okay.
That's why we have editors.
That's not going
That's
to go
exactly
out.
right.
Allie, your brother's widow threw the gun away. She was trying to protect you?
Oh, I think I think she was just concerned about me.
Why did you have a gun?
Well, I did, again, the period of my life that was difficult. It was, but, I don't know. Hallie's intent was to make certain that I didn't do anything to hurt myself.
According to the reporting, at one point, the Secret Service went looking for the record of sale. Do you know anything about that?
Nothing. No idea.
Did somebody report the loss of the gun?
Oh yeah, they had in the moment. We knew that the gun was lost. That Hallie had thrown it into a trash can, and I told her that you can't do that. When I realized that it was gone, and so she went back, and the police came to help retrieve the gun, which was retrieved. Someone had gone through the trash and picked it up, and they found it within hours, I believe, and so. That was the end of the story.
But you know about the Secret Service being involved in
No, I had no idea. I don't know whether the Secret Service were or why they would be, or I don't think that that's true, to my knowledge.
If you like this video, get the full body language breakdown and analysis on our main channel by clicking this video right here.